Very early in my lacrosse career, I gained an appreciation for the value of box lacrosse as it carried over into field lacrosse. And every kid should be starting by playing box lacrosse instead of field lacrosse. So many young men from Canada who play box lacrosse are getting a lot of scholarship money in the U.S. for college. By starting this thing in the U.S. now, I really believe that we're going to have a great symbiotic kind of relationship between the education you can get in college, but the kids being better skilled to play field lacrosse through box. You never see a kid come off the rink without a smile on his face, win, lose, or draw. And there are a lot of reasons for that. Number one, it's so much fun. Nobody's pigeonholed into a position. You know, everybody's up. In field lacrosse, you throw a ball over someone's head, it rolls 30 yards, it goes out of bounds. In box, it stays in play. So that the quick, oh my God, I've failed. There is no failure. It just, oh my God, it's in play in a different way. And the 30-second shot clock and the speed at which it's played can only enhance what we're doing in field lacrosse at the college level. The key for me is using lacrosse to make young people happy.
As a varsity lacrosse coach for 12 years, I know firsthand how important box lacrosse is for the player and his field knowledge. Being part of this organization is not just an honor to us, but a cause much bigger than all of us. The great men that started this program knew the only way to make this great was to teach it the correct way. Head Raps is proud to contribute to each team and individual player's style to show up on the field, look good, play good, stand out, be original.
The NCBS, which is the National Collegiate Box Series, is kind of an American version of junior A lacrosse. You know, the idea for the NCBS has kind of been one that's been brewing for a while now. I think with the growth of the National Lacrosse League and their expansion and all the excitement that's coming along with it, we need to have growth of the American box lacrosse player, and that's happening now through the NCBS, and what an exciting time. Here we are in Colorado sitting in our third year. Ohio's in their second, and it's going to be a fantastic summer where the winner of Colorado is going to meet the winner of Ohio in California for a national championship.
It looks like the Royals, and long pass up ahead to Lemieux, who's wide open for a breakaway, and a breakdown by Govett attracts a double team out to Vanderhyde. Vanderhyde runs it to the center, shoots and scores, and the Royals are up 2-0. Shot clock down to 10 as Yandel will make the cross-course pass. Vanderhyde has to go. Vanderhyde runs across the goal mouth, shoots and scores. Pohl makes the pass, and here's a chance at a breakaway for Nate Ryan, who now gets support on the other end, and the finish from Zach Snyder. Cross court to Vanderhyde. Vanderhyde with the lane, fires and scores! He's low scoring third quarter. Armory currently on a 3-0 run. And run in. Rio Johnson winds up and slings it in past Spoonius to give the arm. Now here comes Rozenka in transition. Rozenka with the shot and the goal to bring the Royals to within one. Double teamed, but still able to control the ball. Now as he falls down, he'll go with a pass. Done very well to this point. Johnson gets it back as a Royals defender lost his stick, and from the wing, wind in the second quarter. Minute to go on the power play. One-timer, and the finish from Benedict. Numbering, white trim. Rip from Govett, and Govett off of a hat trick. It looks like the Royals, and long pass up ahead to Lemieux, who's wide open for a breakaway, and a breakdown by Govett attracts a double team out to Vanderhyde. Vanderhyde runs it to the center, shoots and scores, and the Royals are up 2-0. Shot clock down to 10 as Yandel will make the cross-course pass. Vanderhyde has to go. Vanderhyde runs across. Rio run in. Rio Johnson winds up and slings it in past Spoonius to give the arch. And now here comes Rozenka in transition. Rozenka with the shot and the goal to bring the Royals to within one. Double teamed, but still able to control the ball. Now as he falls down, he'll Good morning from Silver Creek Sportsplex in San Jose, California. I'm Jonathan Horowitz with you on NCBS.TV. We finished up late last night at the 2021 National Collegiate Box Series National Championships, and we start early this morning on day number 3 with 3 games scheduled, culminating in the championships that are scheduled to begin at 1 o'clock p.m. The championships will feature the San Diego Royals from the California Collegiate Box Lacrosse League against the Armory from the Upstate Collegiate Box Lacrosse League. We already know that matchup. Still one more round-robin game to play for the Armory, and they're involved in this first matchup of the morning, taking on the Morrow Cup champions from the Colorado Collegiate Box Lacrosse League in the Gold Miners. The Armory winning late last night against the Royals in what effectively was a preview for the national championship game. A tremendous matchup. The Royals already had a berth to the national championship game clinched, but they were playing some of their backups and still came out with a strong lead early on, 3-0 and 5-3, but then were shut out in the third quarter, and the Armory ultimately came back for an 8-6 victory against the Royals. They'll meet up again in the national championship, but right here we have the Armory, who are 3-0, looking to finish up round robin play undefeated, and they'll take on the Gold Miners from Colorado, who won their first game of the tournament last night, come into this game at 1-2. Pezzamenti diving across the crease, shot clock winding down, and ripping it from the point is Casey McDermott. And McDermott will get the first goal of the game just over 30 seconds in to put the Armory up 1-0. The Armory really spread their scoring around. They had 7 different players score in their first game of the tournament, 8 in the second game, and even last night, a low-scoring game when they only had 8 goals, they had 7 different players that scored those 8 goals. Pilcher from the point makes the pass over to the far side. Stutter step and now pass to Rio Johnson, back across, making starting goalie Darius Miller move laterally. He makes the save, but the Armory on their second opportunity will have the shot clock run out on them. Gold Miners going from right to left in this opening quarter. They have the gold uniforms, white numbering, and black trim. Armory in the blue uniforms with white numbering and red trim. Now the Gold Miners getting their first offensive possession, and Carter Brand taking the pass down low, turning and scoring to tie things up 1-1. Carter Brand, who plays his collegiate lacrosse at the University of Denver, has come alive in the last 2 games of this NCBS National Championship, held scoreless in game number 1 against the Royals, then 3 goals against the Rivermen, 5 goals in the win against the Generals last night, the first victory that the Gold Miners had in the tournament, coming 13-10 against the Generals, especially a strong second half after the game was tied 5-5 at halftime. So looking to finish out the tournament on a strong note are the Gold Miners from Colorado. Armory will be looking ahead to the national championship game at 1 o'clock. Hunter Lemieux couldn't collect the pass in front of the goal and then was checked from behind by Ethan Rice. Play is blown dead and it stays with the Armory. Pilcher from the point winds up and Miller makes the save, and now he'll scoop it up. He's split time this tournament with goalie Jack Kask, and Kask had a phenomenal game in the win against the Generals, not only between the pipes, but setting up a lot of offense too. He had 3 assists, a very offensive-minded goalie who always has the eyes up and looking to make a long pass on a breakout. Lemieux finds a cutter in Cross, who shoots it, and the save is made by Miller. And Delaney lost his stick, so he turns box lacrosse into soccer by kicking the ball out of play. So clear, but the Armory will still control. We're just over 4 minutes gone by in this first quarter. Tied up 1-1 as Lemieux takes the shot. Miller makes the save. And the Gold Miners looking to break out. Ball remains loose in a dangerous place in front of the goal, and we're going to get a 10-second violation because Georgiades isn't able to get it across the center line in time. So Miller's been called upon in goal a few times already today. On the other side of the court, the starting goalie for the Armory is Kyle Mahar, who's been in a backup role for the first 3 games this tournament. He'll get some time in goal while Will Dempsey will wait until the championship game, as Lars Stout will rip one from the wing, and Lars Stout will get the goal for the Armory to put them up 2-1. We near the halfway stage of this first quarter. Correction on that last goal, it was Lars Stout who set the screen, and it was Casey McDermott who actually put in his second goal of the game. It was screened from my vantage point on that play. So McDermott now with 2 goals. And the Armory lead 2-1 as we hit just over 6 minutes to go in this first quarter. Behind the back pass from McDermott, and move towards goal. Now out to the point as we're halfway through this possession. Pilcher walking it in. Spin move, Pezzamenti going across the goal mouth, and Miller's able to steer it aside. Fresh 30 now for the Armory. Most of the action in the Armory offensive end. Rio Johnson guarded by Sparrow, flings it high, it's broken up. Lemieux looks to chase it down in the corner. And a one-timer back to Rio Johnson. Miller makes the stop. Gold Miners able to take over. They couldn't break out in their last possession, and they're going to turn it over here as Lemieux will make the interception and then make the run towards goal and score. And Hunter Lemieux gets his first goal of the game, and the Armory with the last two go up 3-1 as we get the mid-quarter stoppage in play with 5 minutes, 9 seconds to go in the first quarter. So, setting the scene, we are here at Silver Creek Sportsplex in San Jose, California, the home of the National Collegiate Box Series National Championships that are part of the larger U.S. Boxla Nationals. And you have the college games that we're focusing on that feature teams from upstate New York and Colorado that we currently see on the court, as well as teams from Ohio, Connecticut, and California. And we've had so far 8 games played in the tournament across 2 days. This is game number 9, and there'll be one more round robin game, but we do know the pairing for the finals that are set for 1 o'clock, and it'll be the Armory taking on the Royals. So upstate New York against California, 2 of the new leagues that are part of the NCBS National Championship. Gold Miners with Bradley making a run towards goal, and Mahar will make the save. Kyle Mahar, the youngest player in the Upstate Collegiate Box Lacrosse League, just turned 17 years old, plays high school lacrosse at Penfield High School, was acquired in a trade and had been playing for the Hawkeyes as part of the Upstate Collegiate Box Lacrosse League. The Hawkeyes finished second, losing the championship game to the Armory 14-11. Delaney muscles through defenders, and we're going to get a delayed penalty called against the Armory. 4 minutes, 20 seconds to go in the first quarter. Shot clock winding down as Curtis takes the shot. Mahar makes the save, kicks it out to Warfield, who will pick it up and will get the first penalty of the game. It'll go against Jarmani Benton of the Armory. So the power play for the Gold Miners, who find themselves down 3-1 to the undefeated Armory from the Upstate Collegiate Box Lacrosse League. Ball works its way around the perimeter. One-timer for Kask, and Mahar was there to make the stop. Kask gets the rebound. Brand at the point. 1 goal already. 5 goals last night. Kask again the one-timer, and another save by Mahar, who then turns around to put the goal back in its line, and the ball flicked out of play by Bradley, and so the Armory will get some reprieve on the penalty kill here. McDermott's pass is taken away by Miller. Long pass up ahead to Brand for the breakaway and bounces it in between the wickets of Mahar. And the power play goal for Carter Brand. 2 goals for him. And the Gold Miners climb within 1, 3-2 to the Armory, who have 2 goals from McDermott and a goal from Hunter Lemieux. Koichi Nakamura facing off for the Armory against Nolan Hefner of the Gold Miners. Ball is flicked up in the air, and Bradley will get a run at it. Bradley scoops it up, but not in time to do anything with it, and then loses control. Under 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Pilcher gives it back to Lemieux, who picks it up off of the bounce. 10 seconds to shoot. Pilcher finds an open Lemieux, who dekes and ends up being denied by Miller, and also jumps into the crease, so the ball will head the other direction. Delaney with the shimmy and the pass to Curtis, who fanned on the one-timer. nearing the 1 minute mark of the first quarter. You can see along the end boards from bench to bench the LED lights signaling the time on the shot clock. It goes red with less than 10 seconds to shoot, so it's Pezzamenti who rips one from the wing, and Pezzamenti will put it in past Darius Miller for the goal. Pezzamenti, the third different player now to score for the Armory, who take a 4-2 lead with 45 seconds to go in the first quarter. Face-off has the ground ball picked up by Tyler Good. Leaves it for Rio Johnson. Good from the top, passes it to the far side. Stutter step, Pezzamenti again from the wing, and this time it goes wide, and it'll bounce back into the Armory end, where the Gold Miners, with 5 seconds left, come back into the offensive zone, but the horn will sound to end the first quarter. Armory leading 4-2. So one of the teams in action that will be in the championship game at 1 o'clock, the Armory from upstate New York, build up an early 4-2 lead as we hit the first quarter break on the Gold Miners from Colorado, and we'll be back in a couple minutes with the second quarter on Score Break's production of the 2021 NCBS National Championship on NCBS.TV.
As a varsity lacrosse coach for 12 years, I know firsthand how important box lacrosse is for the player and his field knowledge. Being part of this organization is not just an honor to us, but a cause much bigger than all of us. The great men that started this program knew the only way to make this great was to teach it the correct way. Head Raps is proud to contribute to each team and individual player style to show up on the field, look good, play good, stand out, be original.
Yeah, so we got a horn sounds to call the players back onto the court for the second quarter of this first matchup on day number 3 of the 2021 NCBS National Championship from Silver Creek Sportsplex in San Jose, California. The 9 a.m. game between upstate New York's Armory, who were involved in the 9 p.m. game last night, so a quick turnaround for them. They defeated the Royals last night 8-6 to move to 3-0 in round robin play, and they take on the winners of the 7 p.m. game from last night, the Gold Miners from Colorado, who defeated the Generals 13-10. As we're back to action, and McDermott with 2 goals in the first quarter takes the first shot of the second quarter, and it'll be whistled out of play and go to the Gold Miners. Gold Miners winning their first Colorado Collegiate Box Lacrosse Championship, hosting the Morrow Cup, named for Dave Morrow, the founder of Warriors Lacrosse. One-timer for Brand. Beautiful pass across the court from Kask, and Carter Brand will get the finish to bring the Gold Miners to within 1. He has all 3 goals of the game for the Gold Miners. An opening minute goal of the second quarter for the Gold Miners. And the Armory are up by 1 as we get an over and back call. And the Armory will have it as Lars Stout picks it up from the point. Cross-court pass. Pezzamenti from the wing. Shoots. Save is made by Miller. Another save by Miller on Rio Johnson. Johnson follows up the rebound. Malik Sparrow will now get away from the defense to break it into the front court. Carter Brand, or that's Riley Curtis with a run towards goal, and it'll be knocked out of play and go back to the Armory, who speed into the front court themselves. A takeaway, though, and Taz Delaney will get it for the Gold Miners. Richie Connell finds Riley Curtis, cross court, and the pass on the doorstep ends up now careening back out to the center. Peyton Lester winds up from the wing. Mahar makes the save and falls on it, and it stays out of the goal mouth. Save made by the youngest player in the Upstate Collegiate Box Lacrosse League, who just turned 17 years old. 2.5 minutes gone by in the second quarter. Lone goal of the second quarter coming from Carter Brand. Pilcher has it knocked away from him, and Hay will pick up the ground ball. Back behind the net for Pilcher. In the center for Lemieux, who dekes and shoots, and Miller makes the save. Makes the outlet to Curtis. Curtis with a chance at a 2-on-1, but can't connect with Tyler Bradley, and the ball will ricochet off of the boards to Mahar, who scoops it up with the big stick. Lemieux in the corner to pick it up. Cross goes cross court to Hay, picks it up off the bounce with 5 seconds to shoot. One-handed pass, and now the shot taken by Dan Doviak. Long rebound off the save from Miller. Lemieux picks it up, and a fresh 30-second shot clock for the Armory. Lemieux takes the shot, and Miller makes the save. Gold Miners have been deep in goal with 2 capable goalies in Miller and Kask. They've split time in this tournament. Cross the ripper, Miller the save, and now Malik Sparrow picks up the rebound, and he'll go forward in transition. He's got a chance for a 2-on-1, connects with the trailer, Taz Delaney, and Delaney scores for the Gold Miners to tie things up 4-4. So the primary defensive players, Malik Sparrow, in transition on offense, got help from Taz Delaney, and Delaney gets the goal for the Gold Miners. Gold Miners have outscored the Armory 2-0 in this second quarter and tie the game up 4-4. Dunk play from Sally, and he's in the crease, trying to use his vertical to stuff it in behind Mahar. Lemieux left open behind the back shot. Miller makes the save. Long pass on the other end as we have coast-to-coast action, and ball will be whistled dead to the Armory. Shot comes from Benedict looking for the hat trick. Miller makes the save, doesn't give up the rebound. Tie game, first of 3 games today. Kask left open. Georgiades connected with him, and Kask got the finish. Gold Miners now with 3 straight and take the 5-4 lead, reversing a 2-goal deficit after the first quarter, and now taking a 1-goal advantage. Now, for the Armory, their spot in the championship game is secure. For the Gold Miners, they're looking to finish up the tournament on a high note after dropping the first 2 games. Kohut into the front court. Johnson works it to the near boards to Pezzamenti, who has one long sock, one short sock. Lars Stout with the run towards goal, and Miller Stout in goal turns him aside. We're going to get a delayed penalty coming up against the gold miners, so Kyle Mahar makes the long run to the bench for the extra attacker. Turn and a shot by Cross, bounces out of play, and so that stops play. And we'll get the penalty call. It'll be a cross check that sends Richie Connell to the box as we go under 5 minutes of this first half. McDermott to the top to Lemieux. Armory offense creeping closer and closer towards goal. Ball is out of the reach of Pilcher, taken away by Sparrow. However, a nice recovery there by Johnson. Futa, though, there for the goal miners to bring it across the center line. Peyton Lester will wait with it at the point with 10 seconds to shoot. Lester jumps across the goal mouth and his foot was in the crease. Referee Justin Kitashima right there with a good vantage point to make the call. Just over a minute to go in the cross-check penalty to Richie Connell. Shot from the point from Johnson. Miller makes the save. Sally picks up the rebound, flicks it ahead. Chance for a breakaway. Taz Delaney all alone. The deke. And he got Mahar to bite, but he couldn't get the finish. Armory held scoreless in this second quarter, whereas the gold miners have picked up 3 goals. Delaney will bring it into the front court, make the pass up ahead to Kask, who dekes and scores for the shorthanded goal. Two goals in a row for Kask. Last one assisted by Georgiades, this one assisted by Delaney. And the gold miners have now outscored the Armory 4-0 in the second quarter to reverse a 4-2 deficit at the quarter break to a 6-4 lead. And they're doing it with some exciting plays that we saw in their win last night against the Generals, getting a player off the bench right in position. And last night you had the goalie, Jack Cass, looking up ahead to make the long outlet. Now a lot of the defenders are looking for that long outlet pass, and it sets up some exciting plays, 1v1 against the goalie, and Drew Kask able to put in the last couple of goals for the gold miners, who have now taken the lead. And the gold miners really starting to gel at the end of this tournament after dropping the first 2 games of the tournament, but now with a win against the Generals and the lead against the Armory. The Armory are indeed looking ahead to the championship game at 1 o'clock, but I did talk before the game to Armory coach Ron Kogan, and he said we're still going to have a lot of the same personnel on the floor, and indeed they have. They're such a deep team that really spreads the offense around. So the Armory's top players, with the exception of having their backup goalie getting the call, as Will Dempsey will wait for the championship, they are on the court taking on the gold miners, and the gold miners with some very nice plays and a strong second quarter for them to take a 6-4 lead as we go under 3 minutes to go. Now that goal came short-handed, and it's going to be responded with a power play goal as McDermott finds Lemieux, and Lemieux picks up his second goal of the game, and the Armory stop a 4-0 gold miners run and get their first goal of the second quarter to bring it to within 1, gold miners 6, Armory 5. We'll have highlights coming up at halftime on NCBS.TV. Thanks to our director and producer, Kai Clark. CJ Madrill filming from the vantage point that you get from half court, and Jordan Hendry behind the scenes working on the broadcast. The behind the back shot from Pilcher. Miller made the save, but Pezzamenti got it and moved towards goal from Hay that Miller is able to steer aside. Miller will set a screen on Pezzamenti, and Sparrow will lead the outlet. Long pass up ahead to Reyes, chance for a 3-on-2. Bradley connects with Hancock, and now cross court to Cask, who has to go into the corner to pick it up. Ball will roll away from Brand, and it'll be turned over with 90 seconds to go in the first half. Stout with traffic in front of him, puts the shoulder into his defender. Now gives it up for Johnson. Johnson thinking about a long distance shot, instead makes a run towards goal. Save is made by Miller, who steers it into the corner. Delaney overran the rebound. Now Delaney goes behind the net to pick it up as we hit 1 minute to go. Delaney, coast to coast, 1v1. He'll wait for help coming from off the bench. Connell. Back to Curtis. Cross court. Stutter step from Lester. Connell at the top. Puts the shoulder into the defender. Rips one that Mahar saves. And now 24 seconds remaining in the quarter. So shot clock will be turned off. Armory will look to tie this one up at the halftime break. Gold Miners looking to go to halftime with a narrow lead against the undefeated Armory. Cross towards goal. Miller sticks out the arm, makes the save, covers it up as the second quarter comes to an end. Strong second quarter for the Gold Miners, who outscore the Armory 4-1 and take a 6-5 lead at halftime. We've seen so many one-goal games in this NCBS National Championship Tournament, and another close one here. We'll be back with the second half in about 8 minutes' time on NCBS.TV. By Miller. Long pass up ahead to Brand for the breakaway and bounces it in between the wickets. Head trim. Now the Gold Miners getting their first offensive possession, and Carter Brand taking the pass down low, turning first 3 games this tournament. He'll get some time in goal while Will Dempsey will wait until the rebound, and he'll go forward in transition. He's got a chance for a 2-on-1, connects with the trailer, Taz Delaney, and Delaney scores. Championship hosting the Morrow Cup, named for Dave Morrow, the founder of Warriors Lacrosse. One-timer for Brand, beautiful pass across the court.
Very early in my lacrosse career, I gained an appreciation for the value of box lacrosse as it carried over into field lacrosse. And every kid should be starting by playing box lacrosse instead of field lacrosse. So many young men from Canada who play box lacrosse are getting a lot of scholarship money in the U.S. for college. By starting this thing in the U.S. now, I really believe that we're going to have a great symbiotic kind of relationship between the education you can get in college, but the kids being better skilled to play field lacrosse through box. You never see a kid come off the rink without a smile on his face, win, lose, or draw. And there are a lot of reasons for that. Number one, it's so much fun. Nobody's pigeonholed into a position. You know, everybody's up. In field lacrosse, you throw a ball over someone's head, it rolls 30 yards, it goes out of bounds. In box, it stays in play. So that the quick, oh my God, I failed. There is no failure. It just, oh my God, it's in play in a different way. Then the 30-second shot clock and the speed at which it's played can only enhance what we're doing in field lacrosse at the college level. The key for me is using lacrosse to make young people happy.
As a varsity lacrosse coach for 12 years, I know firsthand how important box lacrosse is for the player and his field knowledge. Being part of this organization is not just an honor to us, but a cause much bigger than all of us. The great men that started this program knew the only way to make this great was to teach it the correct way. Head Raps is proud to contribute to each team and individual player style to show up on the field, look good, play good, stand out, be original.
By Miller. Long pass up ahead to Brand for the breakaway and bounces it in between the wickets. Head trim. Now the Gold Miners getting their first offensive possession, and Carter Brand taking the pass down low, turning. First 3 games this tournament. He'll get some time in goal while Will Dempsey will wait until the rebound, and he'll go forward in transition. He's got a chance for a 2-on-1, connects with the trailer, Taz Delaney, and Delaney scores. Championship hosting the Morrow Cup, named for Dave Morrow, the founder of Warriors Lacrosse. One-timer for Brand, beautiful pass across the court.
The NCBS, which is the National Collegiate Box Series, is kind of an American version of junior A lacrosse. You know, the idea for the NCBS has kind of been one that's been brewing for a while now. I think with the growth of the National Lacrosse League and their expansion and all the excitement that's coming along with it, we need to have growth of the American box lacrosse player. And that's happening now through the NCBS, and what an exciting time. Here we are in Colorado sitting in our 3rd year. Ohio's in their 2nd. And it's going to be a fantastic summer where the winner of Colorado is going to meet the winner of Ohio in California for a national championship.
Welcome back to NCBS.TV's coverage of the 2021 NCBS National Championship. The growth of the sport from its roots when the Colorado Collegiate Box Lacrosse League started in 2017, and NCBS Commissioner Nico Blankenship saying at the time the thought of a national tournament was a dream, and then in 2019 he said the first important step toward that dream was achieved when the winners from Colorado, at that time the Fighting Bison, met up with the Rivermen from Ohio in the inaugural NCBS National Championship that took place in Southern California. And then now here in 2021, after 1 year off, the fulfillment of that initial dream with 11 games in one city for one trophy, 5 teams. Colorado and Ohio are back, and then you have upstate New York, the team we see here with the Armory, from Connecticut, the Generals, and the newest NCBS league, the San Diego Royals from the California Collegiate Box Lacrosse League. Final 2 round-robin games today, and then the national championship game between the top 2 seeds. That matchup is set. The Armory will be in it against the Royals. Here the Gold Miners with the shot from Carter Brand to start the third quarter. They have a 6-5 lead on the Armory. Armory will have a few hours before then the 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific Championship game. Move towards goal by Pilcher, and it'll be stopped by the substitute goalie in the game now for the Gold Miners, and that is Jack Kask getting in between the pipes in place of Darius Miller, who was solid in the first half for the Gold Miners. Kask also good in goals. You see there by the save, and now a jump across the goal mouth by Hay, and Kask will make the stop, but then will be whistled for a violation that will give the ball back to the Armory. Kask the save, ball rolls into the corner. Sparrow runs it into the front court. You have the Kask brothers with Jack Kask in goal. Drew Kask on offense. Pass gets away from Connell, and it's stopped by Mahar. Drew Kask with 2 goals in this game, and in this tournament he has 5 goals. 2 goals in the first and third and now fourth games, and 1 goal in the second game. Connell from behind the net falls down, completes the one-handed pass to Curtis. Kask up top takes the shot. Mahar the save. And here come the Armory the other direction. 2-on-1. Now 2-on-2 with a great defense from behind by Trey Reyes, who knocked the stick out of the Armory player. Curtis on the other end gets stopped by Mahar. Curtis taking the pass off of the corner. Scoreless for the first 2 minutes, 40 seconds of the third quarter. Sally, pass too high for Delaney. Ball will be cleared back into the Gold Miners' end, where Curtis retreats to pick it up. Curtis winds up and scores, putting it in past Mahar. And Riley Curtis, leading scorer in the CCBLL during the regular season, picks up his first goal of this game. Riley Curtis with now 8 goals in 4 games in the NCBS National Championship Tournament. 7-5 lead now for the Gold Miners. Pezzamenti double teamed. Pass gets away from Stout, and Jack Kask will pick it up. Carter Brand with 11 goals, the leading scorer for the Gold Miners through the tournament so far. For the Armory, they spread the scoring around so much that only one player has gotten a hat trick for them all tournament, despite the number of goals they've scored. That's Hunter Lemieux in the first game. You have several players with a few multi-goal games, but even last night when defeating the Royals 8-6, the Armory had 7 different players score, so they were a very balanced offensive team. Stout falls down and gets trampled on. Ball is loose as we're 5 minutes through this third quarter. Sparrow overruns it. Lemieux with the shot clock winding down, picks it up. Save is made by Kask, immediately turns and looks to make the outlet. An outlet play that worked very well last night against the Generals when Kask got 3 assists. Almost got an empty net goal at the end of the game too. One-timer to Kask, and Kask finishes it off to pick up the hat trick. Gold Miners go up 8-5. Brand found Hancock, and then Hancock went cross court and finished it off with Drew Kask putting the one-timer in the back of the net past Mahar. Eight to 5 lead. Hat tricks for Brand and for Kask. Inside of halfway in this third quarter. Pilcher down low for Lemieux. And the pass is broken up, and Georgiades will lead the charge out of the defensive end. Sparrow into the corner to Delaney. Hard pass to Connell, flicks off of his stick. Sparrow with the back check forces the turnover, and here's Sally with the behind the back pass to Connell, behind the back shot. Oh, it hit the side of the net. Still got some oohs and ahs though. Sally with the stick knocked out of Cody Gould. Physical play, a hard check, a turnover back to the Gold Miners. Play will be blown dead by referee Justin Kitashima, signaling a holding penalty. And I think we're getting matching Miners. Connell to the box for the Gold Miners, and a player in the box for the Armory that I believe is Cody Gould. Offsetting Miners. Connell's now out of the penalty box. We'll see what goes up on the scoreboard as the referees sort this one out. Referees talking with the coaching staffs. We sit at 8-5, a Gold Miners lead that has built up after being down 4-2 at the first quarter break. Since that time, the Gold Miners have scored 6 of the last 7 goals. Connell's now returned to the penalty box. We'll still play 5 aside. Curtis with the shot. Save is made by Mahar, and now turned the other direction by Kohut for the Armory. No penalties were put up on the scoreboard, so we stay at even strength, just a matter of how long the players, after some physical play, will remain in the penalty box. Delaney with the shot that rattles the post. Had the Royals won last night against the Armory, and the Royals spot in the championship was secure, so the game against the Armory last night wouldn't have affected whether they would have made it to the national championship game. But had they won, and they did have a fairly significant lead through the first half, then this game would have been quite significant because the Armory were not necessarily guaranteed a spot in the tournament. Shot from the wing, and Hancock able to slip it in past Mahar. And the Gold Miners rolling now to a 9-5 lead. As we hit under 3 minutes to play in the third quarter. First goal of the tournament for Cam Hancock. And with each team facing each other once in the round robin, the tiebreaker becomes head-to-head matchup. So this game could have been for a spot in the NCBS National Championship game, but the Armory made sure last night that that wouldn't be the case. Rio Johnson, the Ripper, and the stop is made by Jack Kask, looking for the long outlet, but instead keeping it in his end for the defense to break out. Delaney dives across the goal mouth and stopped by Mahar. Kask one-timer. Mahar went across the goal crease to make the stop. Just one goal for the Armory since the start of the second quarter, and no goals in this third quarter. Pilcher gets a screen from Johnson. Pilcher switches directions, and it's ticked away by Georgiades, who flicks it ahead for himself. Georgiades scoops up the ground ball. Great turnover forced by big Matthew Georgiades. Hancock, the low shot that goes wide. It'll bounce back into the Gold Miners' end, where it'll be an over and back call. Under a minute to go in the third quarter. 3 goals for the Gold Miners in this third quarter. None for the Armory, so the 6-5 halftime lead for the Gold Miners has been extended to 9-5. Stout with the shot from the wing. Pilcher the rebound, the stop made by Kask, and then Stout another opportunity, but in the crease is called, and so it's waved off. 2-on-1 here, now it's 2-on-2. Curtis scoops up the ground ball. 2-on-5, so he's gonna wait for help from off the bench. Shot clock and game clock almost identical, just a couple of seconds separates them. Kask down low for Curtis on the give and go. Curtis from behind the net tries the dunk play, but his foot is in the crease. Coming to the end of the third quarter. Lemieux up ahead to Hay. Final seconds of the quarter. Hay won't get the shot off, and we'll go to the fourth quarter with the Gold Miners leading 9-5. So one more quarter for the NCBS National Championship Tournament for the team from Colorado, the Gold Miners. their first ever time winning the Morrow Cup and representing the Colorado Collegiate Box Lacrosse League well, winning against the Generals last night. And now with the lead against the undefeated Armory. And the Armory, well, they have their sights set on the national championship game that will be taking place at 1 o'clock. And you can follow all of it on ncbs.tv. We'll be stepping away for a couple of minutes, and then we'll be back for the fourth quarter.
As a varsity lacrosse coach for 12 years, I know firsthand how important box lacrosse is for the player and his field knowledge. Being part of this organization is not just an honor to us, but a cause much bigger than all of us. The great men that started this program knew the only way to make this great was to teach it the correct way. Head Wraps is proud to contribute to each team and individual player style to show up on the field, look good, play good, stand out, be original.
Fourth quarter comes up next from Silver Creek Sportsplex in San Jose, California. Jonathan Horowitz with you on NCBS.TV. First of three matchups on the third and final day of the 2021 National Collegiate Box Series National Championship. Gold Miners dropped the first two games of the tournament. Won last night against the Generals, and now looking to pull off the win against the undefeated Armory, who have the first possession of the fourth quarter. Armory will have more action today in the National Championship game at 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific, taking on the San Diego Royals. Lars Stout with the ripper that goes wide to the right of Cass. Cass goes out of his crease to make the stop, pick up the ground ball, outlet it to Carter Brand, picks it up one-handed, shoots it between his legs. Save made by Mahar Reyes with another opportunity. Mahar stands up to him. Great action in the opening 40 seconds of this fourth quarter. Brand, let's see what magic he can pull out. Reset of the play. Delaney with the pass to George Yadis, who fires it wide. And the shot clock winds down as the Armory will pick it up. Cask breaks up the Armory charge. Illegal substitution penalty being whistled by our referee crew. Justin Kitashima, Charlie Whitty, and Khaled Al-Shami. Gold Miners go to the penalty box. Power play for the Armory, who've been held scoreless since there were 2 minutes 45 seconds to go in the second quarter. And for that matter, just one goal since the end of the first quarter. Rio Johnson with the shot, Pilcher the rebound off of the save by Cask. Cask out of his crease to pick it up, and he goes into offense mode. Sally can't control the pass, and Johnson will give it to Pilcher, behind the back to Lemieux. Lemieux sustains a check from Fuda, bounces off of it, less than 10 to shoot. Low shot Pezzamenti, and save made by Kask. The offense for the Armory gets right in the face of Kask, looking to break up some of the long outlets that he's built a reputation for in the CCBLL and here in the NCBS National Championship. Curtis to Connell, and Connell gets it behind Mahar, but it didn't go in, and then in the crease called as Kask tried to flick it in, and so it stays out of the net ultimately. 20 seconds left on the illegal substitution penalty to the gold miners. Pilcher the shot, bounces off the backboards. It bounces off of Kask, and Malik Sparrow is there to snuff it out. Delaney, 1 against 1. And the stop is made by Mahar. Lemieux jumps and shoots, and Kask able to make the stop. Pilcher gets in his face, so Kask not able to execute some of the long outlets that he did last night against the Generals. Pass up ahead to Pilcher, who was on a breakaway, but the play is blown dead, and we have a player down for the gold miners. It looks like Matthew Georgiades. We're going to get a penalty called against the Armory because the play was blown dead for an illegal substitution. So with 6 minutes, 45 seconds to go in the fourth quarter, the gold miners will go on the power play, cruising at the moment through their last game of the NCBS National Championship. One more game for the Armory in the National Championship game, going for the title against the San Diego Royals, who have the morning off. They played all 4 games over the first 2 days of the tournament. Bradley the shot, the stop made by Mahar. A tough task for the Royals on opening night when they had to play 2 of the first 3 games, but they didn't have to travel as far, being from Southern California. Stout will make the deke and put it in against Jack Kask for the first goal of the quarter, and the first goal since the second quarter for the Armory. And it comes shorthanded for Lars Stout. 9-6 lead for the gold miners. Lars Stout hails from the Onondaga Nation, as do several players on this team. Rio Johnson, Caleb Benedict, local to upstate New York, but also for the Armory, a player who's come all the way from Fukuoka, Japan, the face-off man, Koichi Nakamura, who is looking to become the first Asian-born player to make it to the NLL. Under a minute to go in the power play for the gold miners. Kask in the corner, up top Curtis. Tried to go back to Kask, it ricochets off of the corner boards. Under 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Change in possession, so the shot clock resets. Brand behind the back to Hancock, cross-court Kask. Up top Curtis, winds up, it's a high shot, he falls down after he shoots it. Grabs his left glute for a moment in the crease called towards the goal against Drew Kask, and with 4.5 minutes left, the penalty coming to an end as Hunter Lemieux dekes on Jack Kask on the breakaway and scores for the Armory. Hunter Lemieux picking up his second hat trick of the tournament. And it's a 2-goal lead now for the Gold Miners, 9-7 with 4 minutes, 26 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Looking ahead to the schedule for the rest of the day, one more game in the tournament for the Rivermen, the defending NCBS national champions from Ohio, and they will take on the Generals from Connecticut. The Rivermen engaged in that dramatic game on opening night when they had an 8-1 lead at halftime, and then the Armory came back for the 12-11 win, scoring the game-winning goal with 8 seconds left in regulation, shorthanded as well. And that key matchup gave the Armory the edge, and they've ridden it all the way to an undefeated run, at least to this point in the NCBS National Championship Tournament. However, in danger of falling here to the Gold Miners. And then at 1 o'clock, we'll have the national championship game, the Royals against the Armory. As we're back to action with 4 minutes, 20 seconds to go. Armory looking to come back with Reyes on the one-timer for the Gold Miners. They'll be looking to complete an undefeated run in round-robin play, but the records will be wiped out when it comes to the national championship game. One game for the NCBS National Championship Trophy. Back to even strength. Lemieux towards goal and is in the crease as Jack Kask stands up to him. Gold Miners outscored the Armory 3-0 in the third quarter, and the Armory have outscored the Gold Miners 2-0 in the fourth quarter. So a 9-5 lead after 3 is now 9-7. Kask's shot steered into the corner by Mahar. Three minutes, 20 seconds remaining. Clock will stop inside the final 2 minutes. Hay pushed from behind by Sparrow. Benedict with a couple of goals makes the pass, and the one-timer coming from the far side. Benedict gets it back after the missed shot by Pilcher. Over and back, under 3 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Connell knocks down his defender and makes the pass to Curtis. Shot clock resets off the save from Mahar. Play is blown dead, and the Gold Miners control with 2.5 minutes to play. Lester to the center. Up top, Sally. Near side, Connell. Connell, one-handed pass to Curtis behind the net. Back to Connell with the shot. Mahar saves on it, saves it, falls on it, and keeps it a 2-goal game as we near 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Lars Stout takes the pass in the front court. Lemieux with the deke on Kask, and Kask makes the save. And now leads the outlet to Sparrow. Good traveling sections to support each team. The Gold Miners from Colorado and the Armory making the trip out from upstate New York. Less than 10 seconds to shoot. Brand trying to ice it here. Splits defenders, and the shot comes after the shot clock expired. Clock stops with 1 minute and 23 seconds remaining. 9-7 lead for the Gold Miners, stretching for that finish line. Pilcher to the point. Pilcher the shot. It goes wide. Rebound in front of the net. Picked up by Delaney. Knocked away from him by Benedict. Benedict with the shot. And it's deflected in front. Malik Sparrow picks it up with under 1 minute to play, and this will potentially work the clock down some more for the Gold Miners. If the Gold Miners win, they'll finish the tournament on a 2-game win streak, and finish in at least a tie for third. Sally jumps across the goal mouth, and it's wide. We hit the 30-second mark. Shot clock winding down, and it'll expire, but all 30 seconds used up by the Gold Miners, so 27.2 seconds left for the Armory. And a breakaway here for Hunter Cross, and the save is made by Kask. Sally picks it up ahead to Curtis. Curtis 1-against-1 will hold on to it with 10 seconds remaining, and the Gold Miners can head back to Colorado with their heads high, winning against the Generals last night and taking down the Armory here as the horn sounds by a score of 9-7. Gold Miners getting hat tricks from Carter Brand and Drew Kask and brother Jack Kask coming on in the second half in relief of Darius Miller. Both goalies were solid for the Gold Miners, who finish at 2-2. The Armory will wrap up round robin play at 3-1, and with a 3-1 record, they'll meet the 3-1 Royals for the NCBS National Championship at 1 o'clock. Next game at 11 o'clock, the Rivermen, the defending NCBS National Champions from 2019 from Ohio, taking on the Generals from Connecticut. So one more game in the round robin before we turn our attention to the National Championship game. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back the 11 o'clock game scheduled to start in about 40 minutes' time.